Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to go check out one of Bangkok's hidden gems. We're going to go check out Suan Road Phi. What does that mean? It is the train park. It's located right here in Chatuchak area, which is Bangkok, Thailand. And let's go see what we can see, shall we? So Fai Park is about 60 hectares of land. Hectare is about 2.5 acres. So the park roughly is 160 acres or so in size. And it was formerly a golf course that belonged to the Thailand rail system. That's why they call it Road Fai Park. So it was a golf course up until 2002. And then they converted it into a park. And it's actually the largest park in this area. There's 3 parks part of this complex, and this is the largest one of the 3. The other 2 are Chatuchak Park, which is right next to Mochit BTS, and then Queen Sirikit Park, which is very close to JJ Market. Now, why would you want to come here, of all places? The first reason I would say is it's just really a nice park. It's a perfect place to just get away from the hustle and bustle. If you're tired of, massive crowds in the markets, or listening to the horns honk and motorcycles buzz by you out on the streets, come here. It's also great for people with a family. You can go picnicking, and you can get some snacks from out front. Come out here, you can rent a little mat, sit on the grass, listen to the birds, watch the squirrels run around, and just people watch and everything else. Kids love it. They can come out here, they can feed the squirrels, they can feed the birds, they can play on the equipment. They have some playgrounds, they have the butterfly museum. It's just a really nice place. Come out here, see the flowers. Now, the best time to come, I would say probably the best time to come would be early in the morning or in the afternoon. Probably, around 6 o'clock or so in the evening, when it's not so hot. Because it's going to be hot no matter what time you come. If you come early in the morning, it's still going to be hot. So you can come, you can rent a bicycle for 40 baht, and you can go around. You can come here, you can jog, you can come and just sit on the benches. It's a great place for everybody. You can also see some of the plants, just do whatever. It's also quite a popular place for bird watchers. They have a bird watching convention every year, and there's a bunch of different species of birds. You'll see guys out here with gigantic cameras, filming the birds all the time. Now, how to get here? The easiest way to get here is by the BTS. You just take the BTS to Mochit, and then you simply walk through Chatuchak Park to come here. This one, it's not as hot as Chatuchak Park, So I'd recommend coming over here and to relax. Plus, Chatuchak Park is closer to the main road, so you hear a lot more of the traffic noise. Now, at one time, this was a golf course. So they converted it, like I said, in 2002 from a golf course to a park. And they've done a really nice job with planting trees. And you can kind of still see, you know, some of like the berms and stuff from when it was a golf course out around. The name, if you just say Sawan Rot Fai, everybody knows what that is. That means the train park. And it has the long Thai name I'm not going to even try to pronounce, but it means like VJ50, which is the name of the current monarch of Thailand. And it was commemorative to him on his 50th birthday in 2002. So it has his name with 50 mixed into it. And he was at the time the crown prince, because Rama IX was the current reigning monarch. And now he is the monarch since his father passed away several years ago. To me, what I like the most about this is just the vegetation. I mean, coming from rural Colorado, you know, we saw a lot of mountains with pine trees and all of that. But the main stuff that you would see, especially around town, would be, you know, like close to the fields, you'd see pinto beans and wheat and alfalfa, stuff like that. But coming here, you see so many different colors, and you just see stuff that, you know, we didn't see at home. And kind of what got me going is the first time I ever bought a house in Durango, Colorado. I had a chunk of land and I didn't know what to do with it. And I planted the lawn and all of that. And I came across, they mailed me a Guernsey seed catalog. And I saw water lilies, and I'd never seen them before. So anyway, I went out with a shovel and I dug a water garden and I planted water lilies and put in the goldfish and all of that. And they were a different variety than what you see here. I mean, these right here, these are the lotuses, but you see the lilies also. But it was really cool because, you know, the pond would freeze in the winter. It'd freeze about 2 foot thick, but the goldfish would all go down to the bottom and they would slowly move around and survive all year. And then the water lilies would regrow in the spring. And it was always so fun and so cool to see that. And, you know, my nephews would come over and they loved it because they could stick their feet in the pond and the goldfish would come and nibble on their feet. And so that kind of got me like a really love for, you know, mainly tropical flowers and all of that. And it's maybe kind of strange, but it's just really cool. And so when I come to places like this, it just really strikes a chord with me and it's really enjoyable. So hopefully, you know, those of you that like stuff like this would want to come and check it out. So in the middle of the park is what they call this little tiny town. It's a great place for the kids to come and play. They have a miniature version of the swinging gate over there, but the kids can come and play, and you can ride your bikes around here and take in the sights. Now you can see that there's just so much water on the ground. We've been in the middle of a serious rainy season. So then they're expecting some floods in northern Bangkok, so we'll see what happens out of that. And right next to the tiny town is a little miniature version of Chinatown with the Golden Mount right over there. One of the coolest parts of the park to me is kind of on the western side. You come around on the walking path and you see all these trees with these roots just hanging off. And it's like in the morning you come here and it's kind of like a little like dewy, where there's like a little bit of mist in the air. And it kind of makes me think of it's like Sleepy Hollow or something like that, where I don't know, it's kind of like just a weird vibe of this place. But it's really cool, just the amount of growth that you get out of these trees. They just hang right down, right off the branches, and looking for purchase. Now, with the amount of rain that comes here in Thailand, the trees are not rooted very deep. Most of their roots are right basically on the surface of the ground. So any big windstorm, you'll see a lot of these that will fall. And there was just one that happened a couple days ago right over by the entrance of the park, and just a massive tree that toppled over with a little bit of wind. But it'll be regrown in 2 years, a tree that size. They just grow at a tremendous rate, which to me is quite a bit different, because you know, pine trees will grow about a foot a year. So when you see those old growth forests on the mountains, think about 1 foot for every year that they've been alive. So you know, 120 years worth of growth. While here 120 years of growth would be just mind-boggling. One of the funniest things I've ever seen here in the park is I saw a squirrel one time sitting on this lady's shoulder, and she was feeding it an ice cream cone, and it was sitting right on top of her shoulder just eating her ice cream cone like it was the best thing ever. This guy here, I don't know if he wants any ice cream, but I don't have any. You want some ice cream? Oh, you do? Well, I don't have any, sorry. Like I mentioned earlier, the park is bordered by 2 other parks, Chatuchak Park and Queen Sirikit Park. Accessible very easily from this park. There's a couple different ways you can go from here to that, but there's a canal that separates them, so there's some footbridges that takes you right there, and it's signed well, so if you really want to go in there and take a look, the signs are pretty easy to follow, and it's on the southern end of the park, and it's definitely worth the look. That's actually my favorite park. I'll make a video about it later on, but not today. Today I wanted to focus just on Fai Park, or Sawan Fai, and it's just it's a really nice park and worth a look. If you have a couple hours to spend, come here, walk around. If you have kids, let them run around. They can jump and run around in the grass and have a good time. Sometimes you'll see people out here playing with frisbees, or I've even seen baseball being played out here, but that's pretty uncommon. Most of it is just people sitting, you know, on a little mat, eating some food. So take the BTS, walk from Mochit BTS right over to here. You can also take some buses, or you could take a taxi if you would like. And since it's so close to Chatuchak Weekend Market, you know, if you spend the better part of a morning shopping in Chatuchak Market, walk over here, spend an hour, spend a half hour, however long you want. Most people will be out here jogging. In the evening, they have aerobics that goes on at, I believe it's 5 o'clock or 5:30, something like that. And then you'll see people playing tennis and futsal, and the game that they throw this little steel ball. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a game that's played, various places around the world. You'll see the grounds crew. These guys work continuously to try to keep this place up. You'll see them out here cutting the grass with weed eaters or tractors. Most of it's done all by hand. There's very little equipment that they use. They sweep the walkways continuously with these little, they make these little brooms themselves, and they just sweep this. They rake up the leaves with those same brooms. They never use a rake, they just sweep the leaves and cut grass. But there's a small little army of them, probably, I don't know, at least 100 people or so that keep this up, emptying the trash, cleaning the bathrooms, all of that. And there are bathroom facilities in the park, so you don't have to worry. They're free here. If you do use the ones in chatuchak, I think they're like 5 baht or something like that to use it. Now let's go check out the Butterfly Museum. So in the Butterfly Museum, or whatever you want to call it, they have the little displays here showing the different varieties of butterflies. They have some other insects and all of that, arachnids, everything on display. They have some QR codes you can scan and read a little bit more. But it's nothing spectacular, it's just a little bit to see. Since the admission is free, it's definitely worth the price of admission. Now on display here, there's 20 different kinds of butterflies and moths. And they talk about the difference in how the butterflies and the moths are different with their antenna and how they hold their wings. So let's go outside and let's see what that looks like. There's a few fluttering around here, but not a lot. Looks like there's actually more outside in front than there are inside here. There's one that's not flying away. Well, even though there's a lack of butterflies in here, it's still a nice little garden area. Has banana trees and paper birch and birds of paradise trees. or plants, I mean. All different kinds of stuff. The butterflies don't want to cooperate. There's some fluttering around, but they don't want to land. Yeah, well, I think that's about enough of that. There's nothing really exciting about it. There's probably better days than today. It's still early yet. Maybe they'll put some nectar out and they'll come and fly around a little bit more. There's a little snail. I don't know where you're headed, snail. All right, let's continue on around the park. So as you can see, the park is just kind of nestled in amongst this concrete jungle. You can see some of the taller buildings around the park. On the northern tip of the park, they have the Buddhist Archives. That's there. It's set up to kind of educate a lot of people in the, I guess it's the Dharam sect of Buddhism that's being promoted here. It's closed right now, but it's not really the focus of the video anyway. But it's something else to see if you're interested in that sort of thing. With this land formerly being part of Thailand's rail system, there's a couple relics of it still here. Here's an old engine with a passenger car. Good old 943. Still in fairly decent shape. See if we can look up in here. All right, so you can stoke up the engine here, yank on some levers. Looks like most of it's been removed, but there's still some of it in here. Looks like the height of luxury. And you can go back in there to get some fuel. And the passenger car is kind of closed off. Don't want to fall in the water here. There's quite a bit of water standing. Not a whole lot different than the modern ones, except for the wood outside. I'm sure the seats are wood benches. I didn't see any information online about how old this car is or anything. So if anybody is a train spotter and they know the model and the era and everything of that, feel free to leave me a comment about it. Okay, so the last stop I wanted to show you guys is the front of the Bangkok Environmental Education and Conservation Center. Normally this would be a waterfall coming off the front of this building, but they got it shut off for some reason. I don't know why that is today, so I'm a little disappointed. I'll have to try to get a picture and post it on Instagram or something later. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed Sawan Road Fai, or as you say in English, the train park. Definitely worth a stop if you're in this area. It's not really like a destination like you're going to go out of your way to come here, but if you have a few hours to kill and you want to see something nice and spend some time in a little bit of the green area of Bangkok, definitely I would recommend coming by. I'll do a video later on the other two parks, on Chatuchak Park and Queen Circuit Park, and show you some of the different vegetation and the highlights of each of those parks. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, always click like, share the videos with your friends, and the most important thing is subscribe so you can see some new content. Subscribing really helps me, so the more you can do it, the better. Definitely want to share it so other people can see the content. If you want to see something else, or if you want to say what you liked or didn't like about the video, post a comment down below. And as always guys, remember, life is a journey. We all know the final destination, so get out there and live it and see what you can see every day. All right, have a good day guys, and until next time, bye bye. If you can see the little tiny school of red fish, really cool. And then the other big guys here wanting something to eat.